Good morning, friends. Hope you're doing well. This morning I woke up and I was pondering the word fulfillment and unfulfillment and what does it all mean. And when I started thinking about the word and breaking it down, to be fulfilled, it means to fill something. And being unfulfilled means that something's not filled, something's empty. So the way to achieve fulfillment is to find something to fill, and not just anything. It has to be something that's personal to you. You may have seen a previous video of mine that I did a few years ago about the world and how I see the world. I see the world as a piece of Swiss cheese. I know it may sound a bit weird, but the reason I do see the world like that is because I can see and you can watch television and you'll know that the world has many problems. I mean, sure, it's got some great things and there's plenty of happy people around, but there's also a lot of people that are in despair, they're unhappy, they're suffering, they're in pain, they're struggling. And I see the world as a piece of Swiss cheese because I see those holes that create suffering for people as problems that need to be solved. And once that problem is solved, then people start feeling happier. And if we can together solve all the problems in the world, in other words, fill all those holes in that Swiss cheese, then the world will be like heaven, where there'll be no more suffering, no more crying, no more pain, etc. So, back to the word fulfilled. To be fulfilled, we need to fill something, and what that means to me is we need to find a problem and solve it. And that's what I mean by filling that hole, that problem, with something so it no longer exists. It's no longer a hole, it's no longer a problem. Now, not just any problem, like I said, it needs to be a personal problem. And that's what I help my clients with. My clients that are unfulfilled, I help them figure out which hole in the Swiss cheese is for them to fill. And I use a number of techniques. And part of the process is to understand what you're passionate about, what makes you interested in something, or what do you enjoy doing. So your passion and your personality, like what you've been through, definitely are ingredients to figuring out what will make you fulfilled. And our personality is also based on our upbringing and our environment. Maybe we've been through some pain ourselves, and our hole that we need to fill is help other people overcome that pain that we went through. And purpose, we need to know our purpose, because our purpose is about solving a problem. That's what purpose is about, solving a problem. So it's those three ingredients that help us figure out how we can personally become fulfilled: our passion, our personality, and our purpose. And with my clients, it's not something that just happens overnight. There is a roadmap, a process, and it does take about 6 weeks to figure that out. And that's why I think a lot of people do stay stuck in jobs where the problem that they're solving is paying their bills. That's the problem that they're solving. And it's kind of like a bit of a selfish type problem. But it's understandable because we all have bills to pay. So they go to a job that they hate to collect money to pay their bills, solve their personal problem. But fulfillment to me comes from a different aspect. It comes from fulfilling other people's problems. Because what we give, we get back. So if we help someone, we feel fulfilled, we feel valuable. So the only way to feel valuable is by giving value. You see, life is counterintuitive. But if we give love to people or kindness, we get that back. If we give hate to people, we get that back. So whatever you want, you need to give, you need to let go of, and you'll get it back. That's just how the world's designed. It's counterintuitive. So if you're not fulfilled, it means that you're probably focusing on solving your own personal problems, and you're not really focusing on solving other people's problems. And like I said, it's best to pick a problem that you understand, you resonate to, you've probably been through yourself, and to come up with a way to solve that problem for other people, help other people solve that problem. And that's how I believe you're going to feel fulfilled. And we all want to feel fulfilled. We all want to feel valued. And the only way, like I said, to feel valued is by giving value. Because when we do something useful for others, when we help others, we feel valuable. When we're just sitting on an island drinking cocktails, we don't feel fulfilled. We might feel comfortable and relaxed, but we don't feel fulfilled because we're not adding any value. So to feel valuable, you need to add value. To feel fulfilled, you need to fill a hole, a problem, solve a problem. Hopefully this message is making sense to you, because I think it's very important and explains why we sometimes get stuck. Sometimes we look at our life and we say, hey, I'm comfortable, I've got food, I've got a bed to sleep in, I've got a roof on my head, I've got money in the bank, but something is missing and don't quite know what that is. And this is exactly what it is. We're here to make a difference in the world, make an impact, to solve a problem. That's why God gave us these gifts that He's given us, to solve a particular problem. Not any problem, a particular problem. So it's important to find out what your problem is that you need to solve for other people. So I hope this message helps in some way, helps you, give you a bit of an idea of where you can look if you want to feel fulfilled. And you can just start the process of figuring that out and then actually doing that work, which would not feel like work, because once you do something that's fulfilling, you actually enjoy the process. It's not about reaching some destination to get a trophy or anything like that. It's actually the journey that you enjoy because you love the process, the journey. And we spend more time in the journey than we spend at the end point, because at the end point, what ends up happening is we end up becoming dissatisfied after a short period of time, and then we have to start a new journey. So it's important to keep moving forward, keep progressing through your journey, keep adding value, keep feeling fulfilled. Anyway, I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please do give it a thumbs up. If you got any comments or thoughts or suggestions you want to add, or maybe you might have an idea for the next video, please type it in the comments below. Thanks for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.